So now we're going to take all the ideas that we've seen so far and we're going to apply them to make a pizza app. So we'll use all the GUI widgets that we've seen so far to build an app that lets the user choose and configure a pizza. I'm not going to spend too long on the details, but you can review the code in your own time. And we'll start by designing the layout of the GUI. So this is quite common. When you're starting with a new GUI, you would start by just having a few features on there, and then you can expand them later. So just a few features to make sure everything works, and then later we'll add more. Initially, the button isn't going to do anything other than set some dummy text in the output field. And every widget, so now we're going to have a design where every widget is on a new row. But to make it look nice, we've got an extra setting in the widgets, the sticky equals W, and that pushes everything over to the west side, the left-hand side of the GUI. So here's the design of the code. There's quite a lot of code there, and this is why it's going to be good to introduce loops. But to start with, we've got 3 radio buttons, we've got 4 check buttons, we've got a label at the top. So this is what it looks like. There's a label at the top that says pizzas, and there's a label in the middle that says extras, and then we've got these 4 different toppings and the 3 different radio buttons. So radio buttons because you can only choose one type of pizza, toppings because checkboxes for toppings because you can choose multiple toppings or none at all. Okay, and at the moment when you press the button, it'll just say total price is 0, so it doesn't do anything. To make that better, so that would kind of give us the initial design. To make that better, we would then, because that's quite complicated and it will be very complicated to modify, we then want to store all that information in lists and then use loops to process them. So now you'll see I've got 2 lists here, which are the pizzas and the pizza prices. So and these have to be the same length. Obviously, there has to be a price for every pizza, and they have to match. So margarita is £6, and also we've got the same for the extras. So again, these 2 lists have to be the same length. And once we've done that, we can then put everything into loops. So you can see that we've got a loop creating the radio buttons. As I mentioned earlier in the lecture, we've got a loop that will create the radio buttons using these lists, and another loop that will create the checkboxes using these lists. Okay, once we've done that, now it's much easier to calculate the price because everything's in a list. If I know that if Napolitana is the selected pizza, that means that the corresponding price is going to be £7, and I know that they're corresponding because one is the Napolitana is item 1 in this list, and the price £7 is item 1 in this list. So it's to do with the position in the list. So as I say, we work out which item of the pizzas list is selected and then look up the corresponding price in the prices. Same for the extras, although with extras it's a slightly different process because obviously the user can select more than one. And we can then construct a message with the details of the pizza ordered. So the message, would be the kind of thing that would be sent off to the kitchen for the chef to prepare, and we can calculate the price. So this is done in example 18. The only changes, so this is exactly the same as 17 where we've got these loops and lists, but now in 18 we've got this new version of the clicked function. It's the only change, but that then calculates the price and does a description of the pizza. How does it do that? Well, it works out the base price and the type of pizza by looking at which of the radio buttons is selected, which is determined by the selected int variable. Sets the description to be the type of pizza, and then it creates the description of the extras by looping all over the checkboxes. So these are the extra chosen. These are the Boolean variables that control each of the checkboxes. If one happens to be set to true, then we add that extra to the description, and we add the price to the pizza price. With a slight detail about the description, if the description is empty, then we put the words in with extra, but if it's not empty, so if we've already got one extra, then we just put a comma in the next extra in the list. Finally, this list of extras gets added to the description of the pizza down on this line, and that is then printed out at the bottom, and the price, which has been updated through this loop, is also printed out, but on the text field. So there we're looping over the extras, and if it's chosen, we add it to the description and add it to the cost. So that's what that looks like. Let's just actually run that. So there it is. If I select a pizza, you can see it says the price is £7, and down at the bottom here it says Napolitano is chosen. And then if I add some extras, you can see that changes the price, and also it changes the message that's printed out at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to finish there. So that's what the output looks like. I'm going to finish this this video there, and then we'll look at making it even better.